face-to-face with an adult. Hi, how are you? So one day he goes, I think the neighbors are going to start to think something. Well, let them think. Maybe they'll come over here and ask me questions. I'm bored. And, I know we all hate telemarketers. But at this point in my life, they were just somebody like new and exciting to talk to. And they'd call me up and tell me what they were selling. And I'd be like, oh, so where are you calling from? What's the weather like over there? Do you have any kids? And I started telling them about me. And I'm like, my wife just moved this year to New York and I have a baby. They go, well, I gotta go. Okay, well, call me again tomorrow because I'll be home. So soon after that, the mailman changed his route and the telemarketer stopped soliciting my number. And I kind of just sunk into this huge depression. They called it postpartum. I called it Long Island. I was like, it's like their own fucking little world over there. Hello. So I couldn't call my friends. They couldn't really call me. So it's like our phone bills were just like sky high. And I got stuck on the couch. I was so depressed that I just could not get off the couch. And I was so depressed from being stuck on the couch that I just started eating. And I was so depressed from eating, I just started smoking. It's like this huge vicious cycle I was in. And one of my girlfriends calls me and I tell her what's up. And she's like, you should try St. John's wort. Well, I knew at the time I didn't really believe in a pill to help you out, but I was willing to try just about anything. So she called me a couple weeks later. She's like, hey, how's that St. John's wort? Funny thing about St. John's wort is it actually makes you feel great about sitting on the couch stuffing your face. It's no motivator, but you're okay sitting there all day. And during that time, my ex would come home. Oh, baby, what's for dinner? Well, how the fuck should I know? I've been on the couch all day. Well, if you're gonna be home all day, you gotta figure something. So he'd come home, and I'd like, well, I figure Chinese. That's all right. So that didn't kind of last that long, and so I started cooking. He thought I was trying to kill him. I know it'd be stupid. I wouldn't fiddle around in the kitchen if I was going to try to kill you. I just do it. So I finally got myself off the couch, and I ventured off into the city and got myself a job. Yes, that was very exciting. I'm doing that like 7 nights a week. But it'd be funny, because I'd be waiting on a couple, a guy and a girl, like 4 hours. And they'd be like, obviously, a couple. And they would go to leave. And the guy would just let his girlfriend walk a couple steps ahead and turn and go, so, what are you doing later? You're probably getting my ass kicked by your girlfriend, thanks. I'm not too lazy to foot. Get out of here. So, I did learn how to ride the subway. I got myself a Metro card. It was very exciting. And I had heard that the subway is dangerous, especially for the hours that I take it. And it turns out it is dangerous. I'm running to catch that thing, and the door starts closed, so I stick my foot out. Thinking it's like the fucking elevator, and it'll pop back open. And the thing keeps going. And I take it personally, like, oh, great, you want to make me fucking late for work too? Everything, just, traffic, whatever, the subway. What the fuck? So, and smoking. I was addicted to the subway. I really was. With the whole Metro card thing, I just had that personality. But I have tried to quit smoking a couple times, and it's a lot easier when you don't have a kid. Because you can just, go to the gym, or go jogging, or whatever. Do something else. And I brought him to the gym, and he had that little daycare thing. So you get, you start working out for 5 minutes, and you're like, okay. I'm like, Miss McGuire, your son is crying. Well, fucking, aren't you watching him right now? So, of course, I'm a good mom, so I get off as Stairmaster, and I'm like, alright, fuck it, let's get an ice cream. And back to smoking. And my doctor gave me this pill, but you can only take one in a 24-hour period. And if there's no effect from a pill, I don't want it. So I never did another one. And I tried the patch, And the patch actually really works, but you can just rip that thing right off. I'm like, I can't sleep with it. That's dumb. So I was talking to this girl that I work with. She's like, well, Megan, why don't you just only smoke when you drink? Good idea. So I'm like, great. I'm like, fuck it, I'll try it. So I wake up in the morning and I go about my business, you know, doing my stuff around the house. It's like 10 a.m. I'm like, oh, guess a Bloody Mary can catch it. Thank you.
Megan McGuire.
Please welcome Megan McGuire.
Hi. Okay, so I guess I'm just going to start off with a little ironic story. And it happened like a week and a half ago, no shit. I'm in my place by myself with all the lights on, right? I started writing this paragraph about how my mom raised us out in Maine not to be afraid of strangers. Like, there was this whole kidnapping scare a couple times, not in Maine. I mean, that shit just really doesn't happen, so that was like a really big thing. Well, she would never tell us about it because she didn't want us to be afraid of strangers. So I love them. You know, and luckily enough, she did that because most people that like I'm really close to or even related to are in prison now or are ex-convicts. So I love strangers. To me, they're like a great thing. It's like a whole clean slate. Hi. That's nice. Wait, so as I'm writing this, I decided, okay, let me take a little break. And I hear this really weird noise coming from the other room. So I'm like, well, I guess I'll go check it out. So I go to look, and this person had lifted up my screen and was about to like try to climb through my window. And my first thought was, well, don't you want to use the front door? Like, I'm home. God. Like, how stupid. But then I noticed he was wearing a black leather glove, and I know none of my friends would wear one of those in this hot and humid weather. So that's when I got freaked. And I yelled to him. I'm like, hey! Like, what the hell am I gonna do, right? So he like runs. And it kind of pissed me off because I don't mind if people scare me. You know what I mean? As long as you stick around afterwards to like laugh at me for being so scared. And he didn't. So that like kind of creeped me out. But so I just had to go to a wedding recently in Rhode Island. And luckily I brought a couple of dresses because the one that I really wanted to wear doesn't fit anymore. So, you know, I had to put this other thing on. I was kind of bitter about it, but whatever. So I'm getting ready for this wedding. And my girlfriend keeps coming up to me, I kid you not, like every 3 seconds to like tuck my tag in. And I'm like, what is up with my tag? You know, after like 20 times of her coming over with her finger in my back. She goes, well, it keeps sticking out. And I'm like, so? She goes, it says size 10. Well, fucking cut the 0 off and I'll say size 1. That's easy. Yeah, Lord, it could just be a big size 1. Or it could be a small size 10. Yeah, that's the thing with sizes. You know what I mean? They all vary. Nobody really knows. I have been borrowing my babysitter's clothes. I don't know if I say that right because she doesn't babysit me. People always ask me that. But I have a little boy, so she babysits him. And I've been borrowing her clothes because like none of mine fit. So I had her shorts on and I ran into her and I'm like, oh, those shorts are really cute. She's like, oh, they're size 6. I'm like, okay, well, these are size 6. She goes, these are a real size 6. I'm like, okay, shut up. So I will tell you guys one thing. Out here in New York and like probably a lot of other states, cops will pull you over for drinking and driving. And I don't really even know why they call it drinking and driving because nobody drives with that drink on their lap anymore. It's not like how your parents used to do, you know. You get into the car with them and they crack open a beer as they're driving you to school. They don't do that. Nobody does that anymore. So I'm out in California, and I'm visiting my girlfriends and stuff, and we're driving. And we see these signs that says, drunk drivers, call 911. So I'm cracking up, because my first thought is, I'm not going to rat myself out. You know, so then I'm like, can you even imagine the phone conversation? Hi, police? Hi, I'm a drunk driver. Should I pull over here, or do you want to meet somewhere in the middle? Like, that's a stupid sign. It's not like the dumbest sign I've seen. Well, probably one of the dumbest signs I've seen. But, it was some fun. So I keep really late hours, like I work really late and stuff, and people are like, God, how do you do it? It's like, certainly not by an alarm clock. Because I'll be crawling into bed at like 6, and my son will always wake me up at 8 o'clock. So it's like, what am I gonna do, set my alarm for 7? No. So the other morning he comes over to me, and I'm sleeping, and he just comes over and opens up my eye. Mommy, what you doing in there? Having a party? I want to go to a party too. Okay, honey. Well, crawl into bed next to me and close your eyes. You'll get there. Okay, thanks very much.